Okay guys, new bike day. Some of you Kawasaki guys have probably been waiting on this. So today we're going to start. It's kind of a day just to look at it, see if it's going to fire, see if it's going to start, go over it, kind of see what parts I'm going to need. I've already collected a few, and well, you know the drill. We're just going to take a look at it. So let's do that. All right, guys. This one I picked up under a eave here in town when I was still delivering mail. I saw it there for many days, and one day I just asked about it, and the guy said, "Sure, I'll sell it to you." So he did. And I've got another one that I got at the same time, and it too went home with me that day. So we're gonna look at this one first. And it's not that I'm gonna completely do this right now. We're just gonna kind of go over it, try to get functionality out of most things, clean it up, and like I said before, just see what we're gonna need. It is pretty rough. There's a lot of pitting up here on the fork tubes. Down here in the seal area, it seems to be pretty good. And the rims are actually nice. I think they will clean up, but the spokes are going to either need plated or replaced. Yet to determine what I'm going to do there. I've plated some of them before. It's a lot of work. You take everything apart, and of course you have to clean them up and plate them. And you know, you have to kind of weigh whether or not that is worth your time and effort, or buying a $120 set of spokes per wheel, of course. The back one doesn't look too bad. It's missing a spoke here. Looks like the only one. I see a little rust on it, but I believe that'll come out in the de-rusting solution. But there again, we'll have to wait until we're done. I'd got this several years ago, and the springs were very rusty. So I actually had those replated, and I kind of painted up the springs, or the shocks themselves. And you might say, man, that's a really nice luggage rack. Well, that was another thing that was just rust, and I sent that in along with the springs and had that re-chromed also. So this has been a kind of in the works, behind the scenes thing for a while. I don't know whether I mentioned it, but it's a 175. It's the F7 1971. It was built in May of that year, and it's like I say, it just sat under this eave, and whenever it rained or the snow melted or whatever, it just kind of went all over it. So that's why it's kind of rough. But you know, I've looked in the tank. The tank looks pretty good. There's nothing on this side really. Well, there's a little dent right here. It's kind of hard to see behind these decals. Looks like there's been a leak here, and we'll probably need a new window. And on these this vacuum thing, I don't even know whether these are available, those diaphragms. They didn't used to be. The lines are broke off. I'm sure I'll clean the tank. But at this point, I have checked. Let me just go ahead and pull a stick here again so I can show everybody. You know, I don't know what's in there with it, but there's some oil in there, and it's on the stick, so you can see there, and it's at the right level. So we shouldn't hurt anything. There, you know, who knows, there might be some water in there with it, but One thing that I can tell you is that it does turn over. I just rolled it in here. It's been sitting in the shed for several years. And it does turn over. And it feels like it's got good compression. Tires are absolutely worn out. And they're cracked. A lot of cracks in them. And they're flat. This one was missing the baffle. It's got a really nice seat on it for just laying around. I think I put a little vinyl reconditioning on it just to make sure that it stayed nice. Over here we've got a little dent here and a little dent here. But other than that, this is pretty nice. I may try to PDR these, and that would be really great if I could get those out. I don't know how it's going to pull on these decals. May not be able to. I haven't done a lot of that, but I've done some, and I've been successful maybe a little more than 50% of the time. This side had a cracked case here on it. This was the one. So I got a new one for that. Here's the clutch cable. I need to still get that back on there. It is missing a clutch lever. I think I've got the levers. I just don't know what all is missing actually. I do have a lot of parts for it that I kind of collected when I first got it, but I know there's going to be more. And you know, you can see the wiring. We've got some problems with that. These were bent. I think that's why I took that off, and I've straightened them. And I've got a couple of new headlights over here. I can't remember what the deal. This one says 71 F6. I think that's the 125. And I think this one might have been the one that was on it. So maybe I've got what I need there. I've got a whole lot of signal light stuff here that some of it was, well, most of it was on it or with it, but a lot of the brackets and whatnot, I found, I think, most of the parts. The taillight was missing, and I've got a bracket and a new lens and lens screws. I'll show you in a minute, but I think somebody welded around these, and you can see the welding splatter on top. Anyway, I picked up I believe this is a used speedometer, and this is actually a brand new tack, and I believe they're for the right ones. They look like they're the right ones. And like I said before, the forks had a lot of pitting, and I found these several years ago. They look really good, so I'm going to do a check on the tubes to make sure everything is straight, because they do look they look very nice. They're not pitted at all. So that's another thing. And here's a brand new baffle that I was able to come up with at some point in time. Like I said, I've been collecting stuff for this for a while. I got the levers. I got a few, I think these are shock rubbers. And this is a new front brake cable. And I'm not sure whether the clutch is, I believe the clutch is still good. And this is either the tack or the Speedo. Here's the tack. So anyway, I've collected a few parts. I think I even got a spare key I found. This one has one in it. But what we're going to do now, this thing, the chain was so rusty on it that it would not move. I had to break the chain and get the chain off before I could even put it in the back of a pickup. I got some cables or wiring cut back here, and like I said, I've got the tail light. So I think what we're going to do next is just do the normal stuff, check and see if it's got spark, maybe pull the carburetor or open the carburetor cover, get some fuel in it, kick it over, see if she's going to fire, and see what we need to do. Maybe we can get it running, maybe we're going to have to do a little bit more work. But anyhow, all you Kawasaki guys, here's one finally for you. Been a lot of Suzukis, a lot of Yamahas here, and I've got some more of those too. But right now we're going to mess with the Kawasaki for a little while. All right, let's get a plug pulled out. It feels, like I said, it feels like we've got enough compression to start it. Been a while since it's been run, I can tell that. Got some AC spark plugs here. Not sure whether they're the right ones or not. Okay, I brought you up here a little closer. I'm going to turn on the ignition switch up here and let's see what we got. I'm seeing it. You guys got an eye on that? It looks good. My dog doesn't like that. Okay, let's give a little squirt here. Get our plug back in. See if old AC will do the number for us. I can't even seem to get it lined up. Well, that is kind of weird. Kind of a weird angle. I guess I'm going to have to get the camera out of the way. Let me put this spark plug in, guys. All right, got it started. Sometimes it's just hard to do stuff with the camera around. All right, now I'm going to drop her down and we'll give her a kick, see what she does. Still got a lot of fans going, but it's not going to be as hot. Upper 80s today, I think. All right, let me drop you down here a little bit. Let's see what we got. I bet I'm going to have to move that. Yeah, I think so. Let me move this center stand here. I think that's enough. Yeah, we should be able to get a good swing at it. All right, get our key on. That looks hazardous. Well, I've got to say that was too darn easy. This has been sitting in my barn for, I don't know, must be at least 5 years. And I don't know, it was sitting under that guy's eave for about 3 before I asked him about it. So it's been a while. Let me hook up some fuel and let's see what we can do here. Gonna have to take this cover off, I think, and replace a fuel line. Well, let's get this thing back up here. Let me grab some tools. All right. I haven't messed with a whole lot of these Kawasaki's, so this is kind of a learning thing for me. So you guys may be able to help me. I may have to call my buddy Kevin. Kevin's putting out a bunch of videos right now, so he's going to have a lot for you to watch. I think the carburetor's in here. Ooh, boy. That's one nasty carburetor. Let me get you down here. Get you a little closer here. Yeah, that's pretty nasty in there. I guess we'll well, let's just go for broke here. Let's get a new fuel line on it. Let's see that. Okay, this is an air. I think that's fuel right there. It's broke. Everything's broke in there. Let me dig all that stuff out of there. We got that hose off, but I can look down inside that nipple and there's absolutely no way any fuel's going to get through that. It's all crusted up. So I don't know if you can see that right there or not. Let me get it off there. I think we're probably going to have to clean the carburetor before we can really look at all that crap. See all that? I'm not sure that that's even whether fuel will go through there or not. Yeah. You can see there, it's pretty crusty in there. I think you can see it. So I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is go ahead and pull that off and just see what the carburetor looks like inside, because it's, you know, it's going to leak. Looks like it's been doing that. Let's go for it. Let me clean this thing up, get a hose on it, get some gas over here. Let's try it. That's what it's all about, right? Okay, I'm just kind of trying to clean out the banjo fitting. Went over and took a drill and run through that and cleaned up the the bolt here. There's still a little bit of this white powdery residue inside, but we'll see what it will do. I think I'll put just a little bit of oil on that. Sure would hate to mess up the threads. There we go. I'll just stick this out here a little bit so I can get to it. All right, got all those crusty old lines out of there, everything except this, is that the oil line? I think, I'm not sure. Where's that go? It must be an airline. Let me, I really don't know. So all I'm interested in right now is the fuel. So I've got my container here. I think I'm gonna have to put a little bit longer hose on it. Looks like the same size hose. Yep, okay. Let me get a longer piece of hose, and I'll have to go back and get some more premix. Let me get some premix put in my little homemade IV for motorcycles here. Okay. Let's let the flow go. See if we get leaked on. Well, it's filling up. It's backing up here. It's backed up to here. So maybe we're going to be okay. Let's see, this has a choke up here. All right. Let me get it back down. And we'll see what it'll do. I wonder if I left enough line there for my... Probably not. Yep, I think I'm gonna stretch my line. Maybe I can hook it on the handlebar. Okay, you probably can't see anything. Hey, look at this. We got something under the seat here in a little pouch. Look at there. We've got a safety thing and a rider's handbook. Cool. That's a bonus. Alright guys, let's see. I wonder if I'm going to have to prime it again or whether we're good with just a choke. Ignition on. Let me give it a little prime. Now there it is. Just check one more time here. Yep, got fire. I see oil leaking out of the, looks like the carburetor here now. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to clean it. Oh, that's pretty nasty in there. Have a lick. All right, let me get it back up here and let's, you can see starting to drip out down here, but it's more oil, it seems. So my thought, got this stuff all over my fingers here. Okay. I think you can see the oil coming through here. Not sure whether it's coming out of the crankcase, because I think there's the intake tube goes through the transmission area there, the clutch area. So there's sure oil coming out of here for some reason, and it's not going to want to drink that. So let me get some tools together and let's get this off there and see what's going on. All right, looks like we've got oil coming through out of the crankcase here, so we've got a seal problem or something. You can see all the oil coming into the carburetor there. So that's something we're going to have to address first. All right, get you a little closer here, see what we're dealing with. Where's Kevin when you need him? I think I've seen this issue before. So we're gonna have to pull the cover off here, and I can't remember what the deal is, but there's something that leaks. Her oil pump is back here. I think I'm gonna have to get my impact. Yep. It's just about like the Suzuki oil pumps. Well, it looks like so far the oil is oil. I don't see any water in it yet. Water would be on top. So far, so good. You know, everybody knew there was going to be something. It's just the way it is. My F5, when I first got it did the same thing. It's been so long since I've been in there, I can't remember. It seems like it had a seal or something that was leaking in there. And I'm sure that you Kawasaki guys are probably saying, you know exactly what it is. But I just haven't done that many of them, so it's a learning thing for me also. And if you guys want to laugh at me, go for it. I'm having fun. Okay, getting in here. Sounds like we need to replace all these rubber parts. Of course, you couldn't do that without dropping at least one in there. Let's see, probably need a, yeah, gotta get another wrench. Looks like I'm gonna have to get a puller of such here. I just spent a little time on the phone with Kevin, and he says that I probably need to replace all of these rubber parts in here. This one here is one the heads want to strip out on me. There we go. So this seal and probably the crank seal and the carburetor boot and the oil injection boot and this O-ring. You're kind of wondering, let me get you over here. I'm seeing a dimple right here, and then of course the other dimple is right here. I wonder, are those supposed to be lined up? I would have to go to a manual, I guess, to look, but I would say that that dot and that dot should be lined up, and they're not. But anyhow, this, you can see all the oil that we were getting into the carburetor right here. Kevin, here's the petcock I asked you about, and you said show me a picture of it. So there it is. So maybe you can offer the proper diaphragm for that unit. And while you're at it, I'm seeing this dot right here and then a dot right here on the rotary valve. Should those dots be lined up? Okay, we've got an O-ring here. Sure that we need that one too. There's all the oil that I'm seeing come out of the carburetors coming from right there. So there is no crank seal, is that true? So this oil is lubricating the rotary valve. Or is that coming from here? Okay guys, that's I think we're going to call her quits for the day. I'm going to have to order some parts. Looks like pretty much I'll replace all the rubber into the rotary valve, the seals, the O-rings, the gasket, you know, all that stuff. And I'm going to go through the carburetor yet and make sure that before I order parts that I don't need a gasket or something in there. But this will be the end of this one until I get some parts back in. But at least we know it ran. It ran, I don't know, I just stuck a squirt of gas in there and it ran for, I don't know, 10 seconds or something like that. And it was smoking, so we know that it was as it should be. But this is, I think, going to be a good project, and it's going to be a little bit different from what we've been working on this channel. You know, the Suzuki's, Yamahas. We're still going to do all that, but we've got the Kawasaki now too. So I've got just about everybody covered, except the Honda guys for the Japanese bikes, or maybe the Bridgestone. Do anybody work on Bridgestones anymore? I don't know. Haven't seen one in years. They were cool. They were cool in their day. Anyhow, enough said about that. A good introduction to the F7 Kawasaki 175. Thanks for joining me on the ride, and we'll see you next video.